She once saved my life, now she owns my body, my soul, and my every breath. A single gunshot cracked the night air like thunder ripping through my chest, and in that frozen second, I knew I was done for, until her strong arms yanked me into the shadows, her breath hot against my neck as she whispered, "Not on my watch," her eyes fierce with a fire that burned away my fear, binding me to her forever in a love that would demand everything. The acrid smell of gunpowder still clung to my clothes as the ambulance sirens wailed in the distance, a haunting echo that pulled me back from the brink. My heart hammered against my ribs, each beat a desperate plea for air, for life, for her. Jordan's face hovered above me, her short-cropped dark hair matted with sweat, those hazel eyes locked on mine like she could will my pulse steady just by staring. She was 32, a firefighter from the heart of Chicago's South Side. Her broad shoulders straining against the soot-streaked fabric of her turnout gear, every muscle honed from dragging hoses and breaking down doors in blazes that swallowed buildings whole. And me? Alex Rivera, 28, a scrappy investigative journalist chasing shadows in the city's underbelly, my notebook still clutched in trembling fingers, ink smudged with the blood that wasn't mine. She'd saved me that night in the warehouse district, where my lead on a corruption ring had turned into a trap. Bullets had flown, one grazing my arm in a fiery kiss, but Jordan, off duty, walking her beat after a long shift, had barreled in like a storm, her body a shield between me and the chaos. Now, in the sterile glow of the yard lights, her calloused hand cupped my cheek, thumb brushing away a tear I didn't know I'd shed. "Breathe with me, Alex," she murmured, her voice a low rumble that vibrated through my bones, carrying the faint scent of smoke and sandalwood soap. I inhaled sharply, matching her rhythm, the rise and fall of her chest against mine sinking like we'd been made for this moment. The doctor bustled in later, rattling off stitches and antibiotics, but his words blurred into white noise. All I could feel was her. Jordan's presence filling the cramped room, her knee pressing against my thigh under the thin blanket, a silent promise that she wasn't going anywhere. When they wheeled me out to discharge, the early morning sun sliced through the hospital windows, painting her skin in golden hues, turning the worry lines around her eyes into something almost beautiful. She helped me into her beat-up Ford pickup, the leather seats creaking under our weight, the engine growling to life with a throaty purr that matched her laugh when I winced at a pothole. We drove in silence at first, the city awakening around us, horns blaring from the Dan Ryan Expressway, the sizzle of breakfast trucks frying bacon wafting through the cracked window. My arm throbbed, a dull ache that grounded me, but it was nothing compared to the pull in my chest, this magnetic draw toward her that had sparked the instant our eyes met in that warehouse haze. "Why'd you do it?" I finally asked, my voice cracking like dry leaves underfoot. She glanced over, one hand steady on the wheel, the other reaching to squeeze my good knee, her touch electric, sending sparks up my spine. "Because I saw you fighting," she said simply, her Chicago accent thickening the words, turning them into something solid, unbreakable. "And damn if that didn't hit me right here." She tapped her chest right over her heart, and I swear I felt it echo in mine. We pulled up to my walk-up in Wicker Park, the brownstone's faded brick facade greeting us like an old friend, ivy climbing the walls in lazy tendrils. She insisted on carrying my bag, her arm brushing mine as we climbed the stairs, each step a negotiation of space and spark. Inside my apartment, the air was stale with neglect. Takeout containers on the coffee table, my laptop humming faintly on the kitchen counter, screensaver flickering with half-finished articles. She eased me onto the couch, the cushions sighing under me, and busied herself in the kitchen, the clink of mugs and the hiss of the kettle a soothing symphony. When she returned, 2 steaming cups of black coffee in hand, the bitter aroma curling up like a secret, she sat close, our thighs touching, heat seeping through denim. "Talk to me," she urged, her fingers tracing lazy circles on my wrist, avoiding the bandage. I spilled it then, the whole messy story. How I'd been digging into the alderman's dirty deals, bribes funneled through shell companies, lives ruined in the shadows of high rises. How the tip had led me to that warehouse alone and stupid, recorder hidden in my pocket capturing voices I'd never hear again. Her jaw tightened, a muscle ticking like a countdown. "You can't go back to that alone, Alex. Not anymore." There was steel in her tone, laced with something softer, vulnerable. A plea wrapped in command. I nodded, throat tight, because in her gaze I saw my own reflection. A woman teetering on the edge, saved not just from bullets but from the isolation that had carved hollows in my soul. We sat like that as the sun climbed higher, filtering through the blinds and dusty beams, her head eventually resting on my shoulder, the weight of it anchoring me. Her breath evened out, warm puffs against my neck, and I let my eyes drift shut, the world narrowing to the steady thrum of her pulse under my fingertips. But peace was fleeting. By afternoon my phone buzzed relentlessly. Editors demanding updates, sources whispering warnings. Jordan stirred, her hand sliding possessively to my waist, pulling me closer as if she could shield me from the storm brewing outside. "Ignore it," she growled, lips brushing my ear, sending shivers racing down my arms. I tried, God, I tried, but the conflict clawed at me. The story that had nearly killed me, the truth screaming to be told, versus this woman who had become my gravity, pulling me into an orbit I never wanted to escape. That night, as rain pattered against the window like impatient fingers, she cooked simple pasta with sauce from a jar, but the way she stirred it, hips swaying to some internal rhythm, made my mouth water for reasons beyond food. We ate cross-legged on the floor, candles flickering shadows across the walls, the storm outside a dramatic underscore to our quiet confessions. She told me about her ex, a cop who'd bailed when the job's darkness bled into their home, leaving her with trust issues etched like scars. "I swore off saving people outside the firehouse," she admitted, fork pausing midair, eyes distant. "Then you charged in all fire and ink and, fuck Alex, you lit something in me I thought was dead." Her vulnerability hung there, raw and real, and I reached across the plates, lacing our fingers, the sauce staining our skin like shared secrets. The kiss came naturally, inevitable as the rain's crescendo. A slow burn that ignited when her lips met mine, soft at first, tasting of garlic and salt, then deepening with a hunger that stole my breath. Her hands framed my face, thumbs stroking my jaw, and I melted into her, the bandage on my arm forgotten in the blaze of sensation. She pulled back just enough to search my eyes, her own stormy with need and fear. "Tell me if it's too much," she whispered, voice husky, but I shook my head, drawing her in again, our bodies aligning like puzzle pieces long separated. In the dim light we explored each other with reverent touches, her fingers mapping the curve of my hip, mine threading through her hair, tugging gently to elicit a moan that vibrated against my skin. The rain drummed harder, masking our gasps, the creak of the floorboards as we shifted. She owned me in that moment, every sigh, every arch of my back a surrender, her mouth trailing fire down my neck, collarbone, the world dissolving into the salt of her skin, the musk of desire mingling with the petrichor seeping through the cracks. But dawn brought reality crashing back. My editor's voicemail. "Alex, the alderman's denying everything. We need you in the office now." Jordan woke to my pacing, her eyes sharpening as she sat up, sheets pooling around her waist like a surrendered flag. "You're not going alone," she stated, not a question, slipping into jeans with efficient grace. The drive to the Tribune Tower was tense, her knuckles white on the wheel, my stomach churning with adrenaline and the afterglow of her touch still lingering on my skin. The newsroom buzzed like a hive, keyboards clacking, phones ringing, the bitter tang of fresh coffee underscoring the urgency. My desk was a war zone of notes and photos, the warehouse shot staring up accusingly. Jordan hovered, a protective shadow, drawing stares from colleagues who whispered about the firefighter girlfriend. I ignored them, diving into transcripts, piecing together the puzzle while she fetched coffee, her presence a balm against the rising panic. By midday we'd uncovered more. Emails linking the alderman to the shooters, a trail of money that could topple empires. But as I typed furiously, a shadow fell over my screen. Detective Harlan, the cop who'd dismissed my initial tip, his badge glinting like a threat. "Rivera," he drawled, voice oily as the loop's underbelly. "You stirring shit again? That warehouse stunt nearly got you killed. Back off or next time no hero shows up." Jordan stepped forward, her stance widening, chin lifting in that firefighter defiance. She backs off when the truth does, Harlan. And from where I'm standing, it's just getting started. Tension crackled, thick as summer humidity, his eyes narrowing on her like she was an obstacle to bulldoze. He leaned in, breath sour with mince-masking whiskey. Stay in your lane, lady. This ain't a fire to put out. The words hung a gauntlet thrown, and I felt the maw of the conflict widen. My drive for justice clashing with the terror of losing her, of dragging her into my chaos. That night, back in my apartment, the air heavy with unspoken fears, we argued. Her voice rising like sirens, mine cracking with frustration. I can't stop, Jordan. This story. It's bigger than us. She paced, hands raking through her hair, the muscles in her back flexing under her tank top. Bigger than us? Alex, I pulled you from bullets. What if next time I can't? Her words sliced deep and I crossed to her, hands on her arms, feeling the tremor beneath her steel. Then we face it together. I breathed, pulling her close, our foreheads touching, breaths mingling in ragged harmony. The kiss that followed was desperate, a clash of teeth and tongues, her hands gripping my hips hard enough to bruise, marking me as hers. We tumbled to the bed, clothes shedding like old skins, her body covering mine in a blanket of heat and possession. She moved with purpose, lips charting paths that left me gasping, fingers delving with a tenderness that belied her strength, drawing out moans that echoed off the walls. The headboard thumped softly against the plaster, a rhythmic counterpoint to our shared breaths, sweat-slick skin sliding in the humid night. You're mine, she growled against my throat, voice breaking on the edge of plea, and I arched into her, whispering back, always. The words a vow sealed in the cresting wave of release that left us shattered and whole. Yet the threat loomed. Days blurred into a frenzy. Late nights at the firehouse where Jordan pulled doubles to cover shifts, her radio crackling with calls that yanked her away, leaving me alone with drafts and dread. I'd wait up, the clock ticking like a bomb, the scent of her lingering on pillows as I paced, phone in hand, fielding anonymous tips that chilled my blood. One night, she stumbled in at 3 a.m., reeking of ash and exhaustion, her eyes hollow from a warehouse blaze that mirrored our first meeting. I drew her into the shower, steam rising like ghosts, water cascading over us in forgiveness. Under the spray, her hands soaped my back, thumbs kneading knots of tension, and I turned, pressing her against the tile, lips claiming hers in a slow, savoring dance. I need you safe, she murmured, water beating on her lashes like tears. More than the story. The admission cracked something in me, and I held her tighter, the patter of droplets the only sound as we stood there, vulnerable in the vulnerability. The climax built relentlessly. My article dropped online at midnight, a bombshell exposing the alderman's web, videos embedded from my recorder, grainy but damning. By morning the city erupted. Protests in Daly Plaza, headlines screaming betrayal, Harlan's face on every channel as the feds swarmed. But victory soured fast. A black SUV tailed me from the office, tires screeching as it rammed my cab, metal twisting in a symphony of horror. I scrambled out, heart pounding, phone dialing Jordan's number with shaking fingers. She was there in minutes, siren blaring from her personal truck, bursting from the cab like avenging fury, her off-duty pistol drawn as she shielded me behind a dumpster. Stay down, she barked, voice cutting through the chaos, bullets pinging off brick as the shooters advanced. The air thickened with cordite, my ears ringing, but her presence was a fortress, her shots precise, barking commands into her radio for backup. One assailant fell, clutching his leg, the other fleeing into the alley's maw. Sirens converged, red and blue painting the scene in strobing light, but as paramedics checked me over, scrapes and bruises, nothing broken, Jordan collapsed against the wall, sliding down, her face ashen. I thought, God, Alex, I thought I'd lost you. Sobs racked her, raw and unfiltered, and I knelt, wrapping her in my arms, the grit of the pavement biting my knees. You saved me again, I whispered, kissing her temple, tasting salt and soot. And I'll spend every breath proving I'm worth it. The aftermath unfolded in waves. The alderman resigned in handcuffs, my byline etched in history, but the real story was us, testifying side by side in courtrooms that smelled of polished wood and stale coffee, her hand in mine under the table, a lifeline through cross-examinations that dredged up nightmares. Nights were for healing. Her teaching me to spar in the firehouse gym, sweat dripping as our bodies collided in controlled chaos, laughter bubbling when I pinned her once, her eyes sparkling with pride. "Not bad, reporter," she teased, pulling me down for a victory kiss that tasted of exertion and forever. We moved in together that spring, her place in Pilsen with its murals splashed across brick walls, the air alive with tamale vendors' calls and mariachi drifting from open windows. Mornings started with her coffee, strong and black just like her, poured with a kiss that lingered, her fingers in my hair as sunlight slanted through lace curtains. Evenings ended tangled in sheets, her whispers tracing my skin like scripture. Mine, a mantra that bound rather than chained. But love's drama wasn't without shadows. Her shifts pulled her away to infernos that left her haunted, eyes distant as she recounted close calls over whiskey neat, the burn matching the one in her throat. I'd hold her then, rocking gently, my journalist's questions turning to comforts, coaxing stories not for print but for release. And my work? It evolved, chasing truths with her caution as compass, collaborations that wove our worlds, exposés on first responders' struggles, her voice lending authenticity that moved mountains. One crisp autumn eve, as leaves skittered across Humboldt Park like confetti, she dropped to one knee by the lagoon, ring glinting in the dying light, a simple band of white gold engraved with "Not on my watch." Tears blurred my vision, laughter mixing with sobs as I pulled her up, our kiss sealing it under a sky bruised with sunset. "You own me, Jordan," I breathed, hands framing her face, feeling the pulse of our shared life. Body, soul, every damn breath. And in that meaningful close we walked hand in hand, the city's heartbeat syncing with ours. A testament that salvation isn't a single act, but a lifetime of fierce, unwavering love. The wedding was a whirlwind of Chicago grit and glow, nothing fancy, just us under a canopy of strung lights in a Logan Square warehouse-turned-venue, the kind of place where exposed beams whispered of rebirth. Friends from the firehouse clapped Jordan on the back, their laughter booming like aftershocks, while my newsroom crew raised glasses of Malort, that bitter wormwood shot that tested loyalties. The air hummed with salsa rhythms from a lone guitarist, the scent of grilled elotes mingling with the faint char of her uniform jacket draped over a chair, a reminder of the worlds we'd bridged. I stood in a simple white sundress, the fabric whispering against my thighs as I walked the aisle of wildflowers scattered on concrete, my heart a drum solo in my chest. Jordan waited at the other end, eyes locked on mine, her button-down rolled to elbows revealing forearms corded with veins, a faint scar from a roof collapse snaking like a secret. At 33 now, she was more striking, lines of experience etching depth into her features, that crooked smile reserved just for me. Vows spilled from us like confessions, mine promising to chase stories with her safety as my North Star, hers vowing to pull me from every blaze, literal or not. The kiss sealed it, her hands cupping my face, thumbs brushing cheeks flushed with joy, our lips meeting in a slow pour of everything we'd fought for. Cheers erupted, but the world narrowed to her taste, the faint stubble of her jaw grazing my skin, the collective sigh of our circle a soft underscore. Later, as cake crumbled between our fingers, chocolate layered with raspberry, tart and indulgent, we danced barefoot, her lead strong yet yielding, hips swaying in sync to an old soul tune crackling from speakers. But marriage didn't erase the undercurrents. 3 months in, a call shattered our idyll. A multi-alarm fire in Bronzeville, the kind that devours tenements like kindling. Jordan bolted, kissing me fierce and fast, her boots thudding downstairs before the door even clicked shut. I paced our loft, the clock's tick a torment, phone clutched like a talisman. News feeds flickered, flames licking night sky, hoses arcing water in futile arcs, until her text lit the screen. Alive. Shaken. Home soon. She arrived at dawn, clothes singed at edges, face smudged with carbon, collapsing into my arms with a groan that rattled her ribs. "Close one," she muttered, voice muffled against my shoulder, the acrid tang of smoke invading our space. I led her to the tub, drawing water steaming hot, bubbles foaming under her weary dive. As she soaked, I knelt beside, washing her hair with gentle fingers, suds swirling gray down the drain like purged demons. Her eyes closed, a sigh escaping, long and shuddering, carrying the weight of near misses. "Tell me," I urged softly, massaging her scalp, the scent of lavender shampoo cutting through the remnants of chaos. She did, words tumbling in halting bursts. The roof buckling, a child's cry piercing the roar, her team hauling families through smoke-choked halls. "I saw your face, Alex, in the flames like a ghost urging me on." The confession hung, vulnerable as exposed wiring, and I leaned in, forehead to hers, water droplets tracing paths down our noses. "You always come back to me," I whispered, sealing it with a kiss that tasted of salt and survival. Work pulled its own strings. My latest piece, a deep dive into LGBTQ+ rights erosion in red-leaning suburbs, drew hate mail that slithered into our inbox like snakes, anonymous threats scrawled in block letters. "Freaks like you don't belong." Jordan read them aloud one night, her voice steady but eyes blazing, crumpling paper with fists that could bend rebar. "Let them come," she snarled, but I saw the fear flicker, the way her hand trembled when she pulled me close after. We fortified. Deadbolts doubled, self-defense classes where sweat-slick grapples turned playful, her teaching me holds that ended in laughter and tangled limbs on mats. One session after I'd flipped her, miracle of miracles, she pinned me instead, breath hot on my neck. "Got you now." The gym emptied, echoes fading, and our exertion shifted, her mouth claiming mine in a press of urgency, bodies grinding against worn canvas. We made love there, urgent and raw, the slap of skin and muffled gasps the only witnesses, her fingers inside me curling with possession that arched my back off the floor. After, wrapped in towels that smelled of chlorine, we drove home through rain-slick streets, wipers thumping a lullaby. But the real storm brewed at her station. Budget cuts axing overtime, morale cracking like dry earth. She came home hollow-eyed, uniform slung over her shoulder, collapsing at the kitchen table with a beer that sweated condensation like tears. "They're closing ladder 17, she said flatly, label peeling under her thumb. My house. 20 years of sweat gone. The grief hit her sideways, nights where she'd stare at the ceiling, my head on her chest hearing the erratic thump beneath. I'd trace her tattoos, a phoenix rising from ribs, inked after her first big save, fingertips following flames that mirrored her spirit. "We'll fight it," I promised, voice fierce, already mentally drafting op-eds rallying unions. Together we stormed City Hall, her testimony raw as she stood at the podium, voice cracking on tales of lives pulled from infernos, mine following with stats that indicted the suits upstairs. Protests followed, signs waving in Grant Park under gray skies, chants rising like smoke. Jordan led the line, megaphone in hand, her silhouette commanding while I documented, camera clicking truths into pixels. One rally turned ugly, counter-protesters shoving, epithets flying like spit, but she shielded me again, arm barring the surge, her growl low and lethal. "Back the fuck off." Adrenaline surged, our eyes meeting in the fray, a spark that said we'd weather this too. Victory came piecemeal. A council vote spared the House, headlines crediting firefighter's wife for the push. We celebrated on our balcony, city lights twinkling below, wine warming our veins as she pulled me onto her lap, lips brushing collarbones. "My hero," she murmured, hands slipping under silk, igniting slow fires that built to crescendos, moans lost to the wind whipping off Lake Michigan. Yet intimacy deepened shadows. A routine checkup unearthed a lump, benign thank God, but the biopsy weight stretched nerves taut. Jordan fretted silently, cooking comfort foods with heavy hands, her kisses turning tender, exploratory, as if mapping health in every curve. "I can't lose you," she confessed one night, fingers trembling as they traced my breast, lips following in worshipful paths. I guided her, breaths hitching, our love making a ritual of reassurance. Slow grinds, whispered affirmations, release crashing like waves on shore. Clear results brought catharsis. Tears in the doctor's office, her crushing hug bone deep, then home to bed where joy unfurled, her mouth devouring with renewed hunger, bodies entwining in slick, fervent union. "Forever," she panted, collapsing spent, our limbs a knot of limbs. Life's rhythm steadied but drama simmered. My book deal landed, a memoir weaving our tale, saved by fire. Deadlines looming like storm fronts. Jordan-proof drafts by lamplight, her edits sharp. Laughter bubbling at anecdotes of our early spats. Signings packed indie bookstores, her at my side. Hand on my back, a steadying force amid flashing cameras and fawning fans. One tour stop in New York, the skyline a jagged promise. We stole a night at a rooftop bar. Jazz lilting from saxophones, her fingers laced with mine over Manhattan's. Proud of you, she said, eyes reflecting city glow, pulling me into a dance that swayed us into shadows, her thigh pressing between mine, heat building until hotel sheets welcomed us, urgent thrusts, nails raking backs, cries echoing off high ceilings. Back in Chicago, normalcy beckoned, but a call from Harlan, now disgraced, seeking redemption, hinted at unfinished business. A mole in the department tied to the old scandal. Temptation tugged, my reporter's blood itching, but Jordan's gaze grounded me. We let it go, she urged over dinner, fork spearing steak, juice pooling red. We've earned peace. I agreed, but curiosity nagged, leading to clandestine meets with sources in dive bars reeking of stale hops. One night, tail lights in rearview warned me, and I floored it home, bursting through door pale and panting. Jordan's arms enveloped, her questions a barrage softened by kisses. No more shadows, she vowed, carrying me to bed. Her body a vow of protection. Deep rhythmic lovemaking that erased doubts, her name a chant on my lips as ecstasy crested. In quiet aftermaths we'd talk dreams. Adopting a kid someday, her teaching resilience, me stories of grit. Laughter filled our home. Sense of her chilly simmering, my laughter lines deepening beside hers. Love, we learned, was ownership mutual. Bodies yielded, souls entwined, breaths shared in harmony. Winter clamped Chicago in iron jaws, snow blanketing streets in hush, but our heat defied it. Fireplace crackling in the loft, her body curled spoon-like behind mine. Hands splayed possessive over my belly. Mornings dawned with frost-laced windows, her lips nuzzling my neck, breath fogging glass as she murmured, "Morning, wife?" Voice gravel from sleep, stirring me with lazy fingers that delved until I gasped awake, arching back into her rhythm. The adoption process started as a whisper, late-night talks over hot cocoa, mugs steaming, her eyes soft with longing. "A little one with your fire and my stubborn," she joked. But the want ran deep, roots in her orphaned youth, shuffled foster homes that left scars she hid behind bravado. We dove in, paperwork a blizzard of forms, home visits where social workers poked at our lives like inspectors. Jordan charmed them with coffee and candor, recounting our story minus the bullets, her hand squeezing mine under the table. A silent, "We got this." Interviews dragged, questions probing our union. "How do you handle conflict?" I'd recount our firehouse fundraisers turned debates, laughter diffusing tension. "And intimacy?" Blush heated my cheeks, but Jordan leaned in unflinching. "It's the bedrock, trust built in touches, words whispered in dark." The worker nodded, scribbling, and later matched us with Mia, a 4-year-old spitfire with braids and eyes like polished onyx, yanked from neglect's grip. First meet at a park, swings creaking under autumn golds. Mia eyed us warily from behind her caseworker's legs, clutching a stuffed rabbit molting fur. Jordan knelt level with her, voice gentle as embers. "Hey kiddo. I'm Jordan. This is Alex. We brought cookies, if you're brave enough to try 'em." A giggle escaped, small hand reaching, and just like that, threads wove. Mia on Jordan's shoulders, squealing as snowflakes dusted her lashes, me snapping photos that captured magic. Homecoming was chaos wrapped in joy. Boxes of toys unpacked amid giggles, Mia's tiny feet pattering on hardwood, her laughter a melody chasing away echoes of empty rooms. Nights tested us. Bedtime battles, nightmares jerking her awake with cries that pierced hearts. Jordan rocked her, humming off-key lullabies from her grandma's repertoire, while I brewed chamomile, the herbal steam a soothing veil. One storm-lashed eve, thunder rumbling like distant artillery, Mia burrowed between us, her warmth a bridge, Jordan's arm draping over both, fingers intertwining with mine over her curls. Parenting amplified emotions, highs soaring, lows plummeting. Mia's first school play, her as a tree in the giving tree, branches waving stiffly, had us in front row, Jordan's eyes misty, my throat tight as applause thundered. Backstage hug sticky with paint, her whisper fierce. You were perfect, Sprout. But tantrums hit hard. Pint-sized fury over spilled juice mirroring my own deadline stress. Jordan mediating with patience I envied, her calm a anchor when I'd snap. Work life teetered. My columns now family-flavored. Essays on queer parenting slicing through Midwest mores. Drawing kudos and bile in equal measure. Jordan's shifts shortened post-adoption, but calls still yanked her away. Mia's confusion etching worry lines. When's Mama J back? She'd ask, lip quivering, and I'd distract with forts of blankets. Flashlight tales of brave firefighters saving kittens, my voice weaving Jordan's heroism into myth. A scare came swift. Mia's fever spiking to 103, ear lights harsh as judgment, monitors beeping accusations. Jordan arrived mid-prayer, uniform rumpled, scooping Mia close, her murmurs a litany against fear. Doctors dosed antibiotics, crisis averted, but in the dim room as Mia slept angelic we clung, Jordan's head on my shoulder, sobs silent but seismic. Can't lose her, she choked and I held tighter. Or you. The words a mutual oath. Recovery brought rituals. Movie marathons with popcorn kernels crunching underfoot. Mia nestled between Jordan's commentary rumbling. That hero's got nothing on me. Drawing peals of delight. Intimacy adapted, stolen moments in laundry folds. Her pinning me against dryer. Mouth hot and hasty. Vibrations humming through us until gasps muffled in necks. Full nights rarer but potent. After Mia's bedtime story. Door clicking shut. Jordan's eyes darkening as she undressed me slow. Candlelight gilding skin, her tongue tracing tattoos of our vows. Building to shutters that left us boneless, whispers of love lingering like smoke. Drama intruded via my past. An old source resurfaced, Harlan's redemption arc souring with a tip on departmental graft. Temptation gnawed but family tethered. Jordan's veto firm over breakfast, syrup dripping from pancakes. Not with Mia here. We've built this. Reluctance warred but I shelved it, channeling into a podcast series on resilience. Her voice guesting in episodes that humanized badges and bylines. Spring bloomed betrayal though, a letter arrived anonymous detailing Jordan's captain skimming funds. Tires for Riggs ghost employees. Her face paled reading it, crumpling envelope with veined hands. Not my house, she growled but doubt seeded. We investigated covertly. Me hacking contacts for ledgers, her eavesdropping shifts, tension coiling like springs. Confrontation exploded in the station lot. Rain sheeting down. Captain's sneer twisting under sodium lamps. You think you're untouchable, Kane? He spat, but Jordan stood unyielding. Evidence clutched like a shield. It's over, Mike. Feds are coming. Fists flew. His wild swing grazing her jaw, her counter precise, dropping him to wet asphalt. Backup swarmed, internal affairs descending, but vindication tasted ash when suspension hit. Paid leave, pending review. Home heavy with it. Jordan paced circuits, boots scuffing rugs, until Mia's tug on her jeans halted her. Play trucks, Mama J. Innocence disarmed and we built cities of blocks. Crashes narrated with roars, laughter fracturing gloom. That night, after Mia's snores evened, Jordan pulled me to the roof, city sprawl glittering below. Her body pressing me to parapet edge. Kisses urgent with displacement's edge. Need you, she breathed, hands roaming desperate, our joining fierce. Thrust sinking to distant horns, release a roar swallowed by night. Clearance came after weeks, reinstatement with back pay, the captain sell a cage for corruption. Celebration grilled on the balcony. Mia dancing to Motown, Jordan's arms banding my waist, chin on shoulder. We make a hell of a team, she murmured, nipping earlobe, promise in the graze. Summer sweltered, Mia's camp days freeing afternoons for us. Picnics in Millennium Park, her blanket spread under Cloud Gate's curve, reflections warping us into infinity. Fingers fed grapes, juice staining lips for licks that led to hidden groves. Her hand under skirt, breaths hitching amid tourist chatter. Evenings, block parties thrummed with grills and R&B. Neighbors toasting our power couple. Jordan's stories drawing crowds, my pride swelling chest tight. A milestone loomed. Mia's 5th birthday, park bash with piñata swinging. Candy exploding like fireworks. But pre-party jitters hit. Jordan fretting cake layers, me wrangling invites. Culminating in a spat over streamers, voices rising sharp. Mia's wide eyes silenced us and we knelt. Apologies tumbling, group hug sealing peace. Party soared. Laughter echoing, her hoisting Mia for swings, my camera capturing joy's facets. Post-fake cleanup, wine loosening tongues, we reflected on couches. Mia crashed upstairs. She's ours, Jordan said, voice thick, pulling me astride, slow rock building heat. Eyes locked in testament. Climaxes shared, soft and profound. Fall's chill heralded change. My book tour expanded, coasts calling. Jordan's support unwavering, packing lunches with notes. Kick-ass love. But distance tested, calls crackling with ache. One red-eye return, airport reunion. Her waiting sign scrawled, my hero returns. Tackle hug toppling us laughing. Home, suitcases abandoned, love-making marathon. Every position a reclamation, her mouth everywhere. Marking with bites that bloomed purple. Through it, Mia thrived, school accolades, her drawings taping walls. Stick figure families with 2 moms holding hands. Holidays amplified. Thanksgiving turkey basted with stories, her carving tales of feasts past. Mia's pie attempt splattering flour like snow. New Year's Eve countdown ticking, we bundled on balcony. Mia's sparkler fizzling gold. As midnight peeled, Jordan's kiss deepened. Hands slipping inside coat. Fingers teasing until knees buckled. To us. She toasted later, champagne bubbling, year ahead shimmering promise. Yet undercurrents stirred. A new fire, suspicious origins, whispers of arson for insurance. Jordan's team probed. Her late nights returning reeking of accelerant, eyes shadowed. Stay safe, I'd beg, door kisses lingering, fear a knot in gut. One blaze, warehouse redux, radio silence stretched eternal. Heart hammering, I drove stationward, Mia with sitter, arriving as trucks pulled out, empty-handed, her face gaunt. Flashover, she rasped, collapse into me, sobs racking. Home, baths and bombs, my touches healing. Her surrender in bed of vulnerability. Slow, tear-streaked union release cathartic. Resolution dawned. Culprit nabbed, a disgruntled ex-employee, justice swift. Jordan's testimony steady closed the loop, our toast that night. To closing chapters, laden with weight. In quiet seasons, love deepened roots. Weekend getaways to Door County, dunes whispering, her building sandcastles with Mia. My novel drafting lakeside. Nights by fire pits, esmeralda sticky, stories spun of futures bright. Ownership evolved, not chains but choice. Bodies offered freely, souls mirrored, breaths harmonized in song of survival and surrender. Anniversaries mark times carve, our first post Mia, a quiet dinner at Girl and the Goat, Stephanie Izzard's flavors exploding. Goat liver mousse rich as sin, paired with her fingers tracing my palm under tablecloth, eyes promising dessert deferred. Back home, sitter dismissed, Mia tucked, Jordan's slow strip in bedroom mirror, her gaze devouring reflection, pulling me join. Silk pooling, bodies colliding in mirror's gaze. Thrust sinking to moans that fogged glass. But life's script twisted. Promotion at the paper, investigations editor, desk-bound but delving deeper into systemic rot. Police reform, her input gold, late sessions over takeout, her feet in my lap, massages turning erotic, toes curling as I nipped arches. Jordan's captaincy loomed, interviews grilling her metal, mock runs in kitchen. Her stance commanding, my critiques honest. Ending in celebratory fucks against counters, flower dusting hips. Success crowned her. Ladder 17's helm, badge polished, ceremony in hall reeking of brass and pride. Mia pinned stars on shoulders, her pride beaming, my speech toasting captain heart. Laughter rippling. After party at our place, revelers spilling beer. Jordan cornering me in pantry, door ajar. Her hand muffling gasps as fingers worked magic swift and sure. Parenting's arc bent. Mia's schoolyard bully, taunts of no dad slicing, her coming home tear-streaked, rabbit clutched tight. Jordan's rage simmered. School conference her storming in, voice level but lethal. Teach tolerance or we will. Follow-up? Bake sale truce, Mia and bully frosting cookies, friendship budding over sprinkles. Home, ice cream therapy, Jordan's tales of kid fights won with words, my hugs mending fractures. Intimacy wove through. Date nights at jazz clubs, blue note sax sultry, her thigh high on mine under table, heat building till cab ride home frantic, driver averted eyes as hands roamed. Bed claimed, positions experimental, straps and silks from drawer, her dominance tender, guiding my peaks with commands whispered hot. Drama flared external. National spotlight on my reform series, Fox News ambush interview, hosts barbs like barbs. Jordan watched live calling post segment. You slayed, babe. But fallout? Doxing address leaked, parcels of hate thudding porch. Security cams installed, her patrols doubling, nights alert with creaks mistaken for intruders. 1 midnight, shadow at window, prowler bottle in hand, Jordan shouts scattering him, 911 dialed, cops dismissive till her badge flashed. Aftermath adrenaline fueled. Her adrenaline crash in arms, love-making feral, nails scoring backs, bites marking collar, release a howl that woke Mia, soothed back with stories. Resolution? Community rally, queer allies marching, her speech thundering solidarity, Mia's sign love winds aloft. Threats ebbed but vigilance lingered, our bond steel forged. Summer sojourn. Cabin in Upper Peninsula, pine sighing, lake lapping dock. Mia's first fish, hook set with Jordan's steady hand, squeals as trout flopped. Evenings, fireflies dancing, her pulling me to loft bed. Windows open to cricket chorus, slow missionary deep in connecting, eyes locked till tears mingled. Fall's harvest brought Mia's curiosity. How'd you meet? Over pumpkin pie edited tale. Hero saving damsel, love blooming. Her eyes wide, hugging tight. My mamas are superheroes. Heart full, Jordan's glance over her head. Love unspoken but profound. Holiday lights twinkled. Hanukkah candles for my heritage. Jordan's lax crisp. Mia's menorah painting smudged joy. Christmas followed, tree groaning ornaments, her carving ham with precision. Gifts unwrapped to gasps. Mia a bike, us matching pendants etched initials. New Year birth ambition. Joint non-profit, blaze and byline. Mentoring at-risk youth in trades and tales. Launch gala swanky, her in tux sharp. Me gown clinging. Dance floor conquest, her leading waltz turned grind. Whispers of later fulfillment. Program soared. Kids' eyes lighting at her host demos. My writing workshop sparking essays raw. One meant echo of young Jordan confessed abuse. We navigated reports, her hug fierce. You saved her like me. Personal peaks. Mia's ballet recital, tutu twirling. Jordan's camcorder steady. Tears unashamed. Post-show flowers, her bow deep. Our applause thunderous. Trial touched home. Old warehouse case retried, witnesses recanting under pressure. Subpoena pulled Jordan. Her testimony unflinching. Cross-exam sweat beading brow. Verdict. Guilty, closure sweet. Celebratory dinner, her toasting to justice served. Foot teasing calf under linen. Winter's grip loosened to spring thaw. Mia's science fair volcano erupting foam. Jordan's engineering tweaks lauded. Pride Month parade, rainbow flags waving, her on float waving. Mia on shoulders beaming, my photos capturing pride's pulse. Anniversary trip. New Orleans Jazz Fest, beignet sugared. Her hand in mine through quarters haze. Hotel balcony sex languid. Jazz drifting up. Bodies undulating to brass swells. Back routine enriched. Couples therapy not for cracks but polish, sessions unpacking scars, emerging closer, bedroom experiments bolder. Roleplay her firefighter rescuing reporter, hose metaphors playful peaks explosive. Conflict crusted subtle. Jordan's ex surfacing. Custody bid for shared niece orphan sudden. Courts loomed, her stress fracturing sleep. My supports massages deep. Nights her head between thighs. Release her tensions valve. Trial dragged, testimonies tearful, judge ruling our way. Visitation granted. Niece Lily's arrival whirlwind. Mia's big sis glee. Family expanded, dinners chaotic, Jordan's calm captaining ship. Summer camp for Mia. Empty nest echo, us reclaiming space. Kitchen romps, flower fights to fucks, her bending me over island, thrusts punctuated laughs. Fall's colors blazed, Lily's integration smooth, park days tag teams, her stories captivating tots. Holidays double joy. 2 turkeys, Lex doubled, gifts piled, her carving with flair, toasts to family forged. Year's end reflecting journals, her entry. You own my every breath still. Mine echoed, sealed in kiss that promised eternities. Through trials, love's ownership bloomed voluntary. Bodies temples, souls symphonies, breaths ballads of belonging. Midlife crept sly, 40s whispering in mirrors, Jordan's temples silvering, my laugh lines etching stories. But vigor pulsed, her 5K runs dawn cracked, me joining, breath sinking to pavement pound, post-race shower steaming, her soaping curves with intent, fingers slipping to illicit moans that echoed tile. Mia's teen bloom brought tempests, crushes confessed in whispers, first dance jitters, Jordan's dad roll awkward, my talk's estrogen-fueled empathy. One prom eve dress fittings tearful, her twirl radiant, our duo send-off photos capturing threshold's thrill. Work's zenith. Pulitzer nod for Reform series, ceremony glitz in NYC, Jordan tucks beside, Mia beaming from seats. Speech heart poured. To saviors in turnout and touch. After party champagne fizz, her cornering me in coat room, gown hiked, quickie hushed and hot, release bubbling like bubbles. Homecoming parade small scale, neighbors cheering, Mia's sign mom's a star. Jordan's grill out feast smoky triumph. Jordan's milestone, battalion chief brass heavy, duties desk deep but field calls tugging. Stress knots her shoulders, my massages oil slick, thumbs digging, evolving to full body worship, tongue tracing spine, her arching pleas granting entry, slow builds to quakes. Family expanded. Lily's adoption sealed, her 8th birthday bash water balloons bursting, chaos joyful, Jordan's slip and slide dives drawing whoops. Drama domestic. Mia's rebellion, curfew clashes, slam doors echoing hurt. Family therapy unpacked, her apologies halting, our hugs mending, post-session ice cream runs bonding. Intimacy innovated. Anniversary cruise Caribbean, waves lulling, her balcony seduction moonlight gilded, bodies oiled, salt-kissed, peaks crashing like surf. Back, nonprofit scaled. Branches in Detroit, her trainings fiery, my grants wrangled, gala her speech thunderous, dance floor her claiming waltz possessive. Health hiccup. Jordan's knee tweak from drill, PT grueling, my encouragements peppy, home sessions her leg over shoulder, intimacy adapted, position sideways, her gasps grateful, connection deepened. Mia's milestone. High school graduation, cap gown, speech valedictorian poised, our tears proud, post-party her college bound, empty nest looming bittersweet. Summer send-off road trip. National parks, tents pitched, stars wheeling, Jordan's campfire tales spooky, Mia's laughs echoing, my photos framing memories. College drop-off dorm stark, hugs lingering, drive home silent, her hand thigh-high grief turning grip. Home empty, reclaiming bed marathon. Every inch explored, toys dusted, nights blurred in ecstasy's haze. Fall's quiet amplified. Lily's tween sass, school plays her starring, Jordan's director role hammed, my costumes sewn love-stitched. Holidays heartfelt. Mia's holiday visit, feasts crammed, games raucous, her boyfriend vetted gentle, Jordan's nod approval seal. New Year yoga retreat, poses sinking breaths, her downward dog tease leading to cabana trysts, zen shattered in bliss. Spring's renewal. Mia's engagement announced, ring sparkling, our joy tempered advice, wedding planning her venue hunts, my toast scripts. Summer wedding. Vineyard vows, Mia radiant, Jordan's dance with dad roll teary, my maid of honor grace. Fall harvest. Lily's braces gleam, braces her braces drama, orthodontist visits her fidgeting, our ice cream consolations. Winter's hush. Jordan's sabbatical travels planned. Europe rucksack, Paris walks hand clasped. Eiffel glow, her proposal renewal silly. Rings exchanged anew. Back routine refreshed. Cooking classes duo, her knife skills sharp. My sauces simmered, kitchen romps flour dusted. Conflict crested. Non-profit audit fraud whisper. Funds missing, her fury volcanic. Investigation my forte. Digging ledgers late, her pacing shadow. Culprit in turn greedy, confession tearful. Restitution ordered. Trust rebuilt, trainings ethics. Summer's salve. Beach vaki, sand shifting, her building castles elaborate. Lily's moat digs. Mia's visit sun-soaked. Fall's foliage. Lily's bat mitzvah, her Torah chant poised, our pride swelling, party, her DJ spin. Holidays hybrid. Fusion feasts, her turkey tamales. Gifts thoughtful, toasts to growth. Year's close, journal entries hers. Breaths shared richer.
Mine formt, Casey Turnell.
Ownership matured, bodies cherished, souls savored, breaths symphonic. Empty nest echoed louder. Mia's grad school calls sporadic. Her life weaving new threads. Jordan and I filled voids. Pottery classes clay smeared. Her will throws phallic joked. My glazes colorful. Studio afters, her hands molding more than pots. Home firings, kiln hot parallels. Career capstone, her book from ashes. Memoir flames forged, my edits tender. Launch packed, her reading voice rumbling. Q&A, her candor captivating. Signings joint. Fans gushing duodynamics. Afters hotel suites, her signing skin with lips. Lily's teen torrent. Driver's ed Rex fender benders, her license, her whoops. Jordan's passenger seat white-knuckled, my cheers balanced. Drama distant. Old scandal sequel, documentary pitch, my archive dive. Jordan's on-cam reluctant, footage raw relived. Premiere festival buzz, her arm banded, mine applause cathartic. Intimacy intimate. Vow renewal intimate, backyard archblooms, Mia officiant teary. Rings reapplied, reception tinted twinkle. Her first dance sway slow burn. Post-honeymoon Hawaii lava flows glow, her hike strenuous, my snorkels shared. Bungalow nights lay loosen, bodies bronzed, peaks volcanic. Back routine spiced. Salsa lessons, hips grinding, her lead dominant. Studio mirrors multiplying heat. Home practices, sweat slick culminations. Philanthropy peaked. Foundation gala black tie, her speech soaring. Auction, her turnout donated. Bid soaring. Dance, her waltz possessive, whispers wicked. Health horizon. My mammogram shadow, biopsy weight agonizing. Her vigils bedside. Tests clear, relief crashing. Lovemaking grateful. Her mouth reverent, tears salting skin. Lily's launch. College apps essays, her polishing. Acceptance Harvard, her squeal. Our tuition talks pragmatic, send-off dorm teary. Fall's fanfare. Mia's wedding anniversary. Our visit in-laws charmed. Grandbaby bump surprise. Our joy grandparent gleam. Winter's warmth. Jordan's retirement tease, shift scaled back. Her garden plots tilled, my weeding assists. Harvest feasts, her relishes Jared. Spring surprise. Pregnancy confirmed, IVF miracle at 45. Our consults hopeful, shot scheduled. Her hand vein pricked steady. Summer swell. First trimester nausea, her ginger alesh fetched. Ultrasounds heartbeat whooshes, names brainstormed. Fall's flutter. Baby shower blues and booties, Mia's hosting, her games goofy, gifts piled. Holidays hushed. Thanksgiving early, her turkey brine, bump my hand on, kicks Morse code. New Year nesting. Nursery painted sage, her crib assembly cursing comic. My mobiles hung whimsical. Drama delivery. Labor false starts, her coaching breaths. Hospital dash dawn. Pushes primal. Daughter Elena born cry cacophony. Our tears triad. Postpartum haze. Nights fragmented, her shifts covered. Bottle feeds her rocking, my recovery rests. Spring sprout. Elena's coups, Lily's anti-duties, Mia's visits, aunt gush. Summer sunshine. Park stroller pushes her carrier straps Mia's babble lessons. Fall's firsts. Crawl chaos her gate barricades, solid splatters her purees blended. Holidays ho ho. Elena's Santa lap, her gaze wonder-wide gifts rustle. Years yield journal her. Breaths multiplied. Mine echoed family chorus. Ownership expansive bodies vessels souls expanded breaths lullabies. Parenthood redux toddler tested. Elena's terrible twos tantrums timed. Her nose emphatic Jordan's timeouts firm. My distractions diverting. Lily's college breaks home haunts. Her stories sorority salted. Our advice aged wisdom. Career coda. My anthology compiled. Her forward penned heartfelt. Launch literary. Readings resonant. Book tour tandem abbreviated Elena mindful. Intimacy intermittent. Date nights swapped her surprise spa days. Massages mutual melting to moans. Hotel escapes her planning. Silk restraints playful peaks prolonged. Drama diffused. Foundation fraud echo. Audits airtight. Her protocols pen preventive. Summer sabbatical. Family RV loop. Badlands buffs her driving steady sing-along silly. Campfires crackle her esmeralda mastered. Fall's flourish. Elena's preschool plunge her backpack bear-hugged. Drop-off tears duel, pick-up hugs healing. Holidays harmony. Fusion feasts evolved. Her tamale turkey. Mia's pie pumpkin. Gifts generational. New Year novels. Joint NaNoWriMo her plot flames my prose polished. Words woven collaborative. Spring spark. Lily's internship DC. Her metro mishaps texted. Visits capital toured. Summer sizzle. Elena's swim splashes her floats gripped Mia's pool parties. Fall's frame. Family portrait session her poses prompted Prince framed fireside. Winter's whisper. Jordan's knee revisit surgery scoped. Her rehab resolute my PT partner. Drama dormant. Old foe Harlan's passing obituary neutral. Her toast to flawed redemption. Closure quiet. Intimacy ignited. Recovery romance her mobility limited. Oral odysseys her directing. Pleasures reciprocal. Lily's launchpad. Graduation gown gold. Her speech soaring job offer silicon. Our pride parental. Summer send. Cross-country drive her playlists pumped. Elena's car seat queries. Fall's foundation. Empty-ish nest Elena's energy engine her puzzles puzzled. Holidays hearth. Elena's elf antics her cookie chaos gifts gleeful. Years yarn journal her. Threads tighter. Mine mirrored tapestry textured. Ownership textured bodies time touched. Souls storied breaths ballasted. Golden years glided 50s silver streaked. Jordan's hair fully frosted my curls cropped chic. Vitality veered. Her yoga flows fluid my hikes hearten. Joint jaunts Joshua tree stars sprawling. Her telescope trained Elena's astronomy awe. Grandparent glow. Mia's twins born boy-girl bundle. Our nursery visits nuzzle nestled. Her rocking duo my rhymes recited. Career curtain. Her lectures adjunct, fire science sage, my memoirs masterclass, panels paired perspectives. Intimacy infinite. Anniversary aspen snow soft her ski slopes shust, après her hot tub heats, bubbles buoyant bodies buoyant. Drama distant. Foundation 50th gala grand, her keynote, awards accolade. Summer serenity. Lake house legacy Elena's canoe capsizes comic. Lily's visits video call bridged. Fall's finale. Family reunion farm her harvest hoed feasts farm fresh. Holidays hallowed. Elena's holiday plays her lines lisped. Gifts grandkids gleaned. New Year narratives. Oral histories taped. Her tales transcribed. Legacy logged. Spring sapling. Great grand whispers premature but seeds sown Mia's third. Summer sunset. Cruise circle her deck dances Elena's teen tango. Fall's fruition. Book biopic buzz her consultant candid script screened. Winter's warmth. Knee-heeled hikes her pace-paced Elena's trails trailed. Drama dissolved. Past pardoned Harlan's widow thanks whispered. Intimacy immortal. Bedside books her readings rumble touches timeless. Lily's legacy. Marriage matched her vows voiced our presence pivotal. Summer's symphony. Twins toddle her tag teams Elena's anti-assist. Fall's full circle. Warehouse walk her hand-held memories murmured. Holiday's halo. Great gather her turkey tradition toasts timeless. Year's zenith. Journal her. Breaths eternal. Mind-matched love's loop. In twilight's tender she owns still. Body's echo soul's song breath's bequest. Meaning etched. Salvation's gift. Love's lease unending.